Hello everyone, welcome to this NUG webinar introducing Fusion Artificial Intelligence Data Platform. As always, we have got a Q&A section. If you could please put questions in there throughout the webinar, and then we'll be able to address them at the end. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to our speaker, Dan Ryan.
Great, thanks Yayan, and welcome everybody. Happy Friday. As Yayan said, we're going to be looking today at the Fusion Artificial Intelligence Data Platform, known as FAIDP, previously known as FDI, FDIP, FAW. Just to keep people on their toes, it's one of those that keeps getting renamed, and we'll go through a little bit of that later on. So just to introduce myself, my name's Dan Ryan. I'm the Analytics Practice Director at Namos. I'm an Oracle ACE Associate. I've been working in the reporting and analytics space of Oracle for about 15 years now, split across both being Oracle staff and a customer of Oracle. And I joined Team Namos back in January as the Practice Director. So what we're going to look at today is what the FAIDP is, how it fits into the Oracle landscape, have a look at the roadmap. So it is a product that's rapidly developing. And then depending on time, I'll either go into a live environment or we'll have a look at a few video examples before looking at how Namos can help. And then I will go ahead and answer the questions that have been raised throughout the session. We'll finish off then with a quick call to action and a look at the next in-person user group before I let you go on your way to enjoy the rest of your day. So what is the Fusion AI Data Platform, or FAIDP, and how can it really help you transform your organization? Before we look at FAIDP, it's important to understand that when you're looking at an analytics solution, you've really got two options. You can either build your own from scratch, or you can buy a pre-packaged analytics solution. And the FAIDP is a pre-packaged analytics solution, so it sits on the right-hand side of that. So if you were to build your own, you would pick your visualization tool, your data integration tools, your data warehouse. You'd have to build all of your extracts from your source systems. You'd have to do all of your logical data modeling, and then build your own visualizations on top of that. But with buying a solution, all of that is pre-packaged. So you've got a data warehouse, you've got the integration tools, you've got the visualization tools, and most importantly, you've got the data pipelines from your source system and the data modeling. Now, I'm only going to cover FAIDP as part of this webinar because it includes all of the elements of the build solution. But that's not to say that you can't still decide to look at Oracle as a platform to build your own solution as well. And there are others out there, but as Namos, as I'm sure you're all aware, we are Oracle only. So we would only look at the Oracle stack for the analytics solution. So what is the Fusion Artificial Intelligence Data Platform? So it's really combining what was known as Fusion Data Intelligence and the Artificial Intelligence Data Platform and the workbench for that. So it's really extended those FDI capabilities by providing the full AI engine underneath to give you those deeper insights. So to look at that in more detail, if we look at the bottom left diagram here, first of all, this is what Fusion Data Intelligence was. So you had the OCI data lakehouse, which is now the AI data platform. So that's your underlying infrastructure. You've got Oracle Analytics Cloud as your visualization tool. You've got pre-built pipelines from your Oracle Fusion applications into a data warehouse, which can then be enriched with third-party applications and data as well. So you're not just restricted to your Oracle data here. FDI and the FAIDP are capable of becoming your organization's enterprise-wide data platform. For your Oracle applications then, or all of that data rather, goes into a shared analytics data model. And then pre-built for your Oracle applications, you've got things like your 360-degree data models, looking at suppliers, customers, employees, expenses, and various other areas. You've got your pre-built analytics through Analytics Cloud. You've got the AI and ML capabilities. Some is pre-built and out of the box, and you can extend that yourselves as well. And increasingly, Oracle are looking at intelligent applications. So really turning Fusion Data Intelligence into the sort of next level. So moving away from an analytical system and a system of insight into what's being termed as a translytical system. So combining your transactional and your analytical all into one, and we'll see some videos of that later on. If we then look at the AI data platform on the right-hand side here, this is the additional capability that the FAIDP now has. So you have the agentic user experience. So you've got the capabilities of introducing chat interfaces, of providing insights and kicking off workflows directly from that insight. So that's where it becomes translytical. You've got the AI-powered developer tools. So you've got things like AI Agent Studio within FAIDP as well as just within your Fusion application. You've got all of the data science capabilities and data engineering capabilities. And the AI data platform really does suit everybody from an AI building perspective. You've got everything from no code all the way through to high code. So it's suitable for, I'm not going to say beginners or people who have got no background in AI, but it really is capable of bringing more ideas and more people forward into that more advanced world. And then underneath all of that, you've got the foundations. So you've got the data models with the open lakehouse architecture, your data catalogs. You've got pre-built AI models in there that you can extend. You can write your own R scripts, Python scripts. You can bring in data from anywhere. You've got what's called a medallion data architecture. So you've got your base tables, and that can be both structured and unstructured data. You've got then a silver layer, which is where you've started to really structure that and bring it together. And then the gold layer, which is what gets presented back to the end users. So if we look at the difference between the scope then of the Fusion Artificial Intelligence data platform against a custom build solution. So as I've already said, with FAIDP, you get everything in one wrapper. So you've got your end user visualization tool, you've got your advanced capabilities. There are some available within Oracle Analytics Cloud itself. So you have what Oracle terms as citizen data science tools and self-service data science tools, where you can create and apply your own models. You've got more advanced AI and ML capabilities within Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, which is the platform that hosts the AIDP workbench. You've got your pre-built data pipelines. You've got your data warehouse and your data lakehouse architecture. And you've got Oracle there and Oracle support to provide your maintenance services. If you were looking at custom building, you'd have multiple suppliers. So moving away from that one supplier model, you'd have multiple suppliers because you would have multiple visualization tools potentially. Even if you only have one, generally they would have disconnected AI and ML services. You'd have somebody come in to completely build something from scratch in terms of your data pipelines. You might have multiple data warehouses, and you'd have multiple maintenance contracts as well. You'd have maintenance contracts for each of these aspects generally. And that would be the same whether you're using an Oracle stack or an external stack as well, potentially. One of the big things about the Fusion AI data platform is that everything is contained within your Oracle account. So nothing leaves your infrastructure. So even with things like the large language models, Oracle will go out and look for data to supplement your data, but it will never provide your data outside your account. So if we look at some of the business outcomes of FAIDP, so from a finance perspective, it's very good at targeting things like maverick spend, managing employee expenses. So there's machine learning models in there looking at expense compliance and identifying patterns in there and potential fraud. It can help boost procurement efficiency. It will look for bottlenecks in your procurement process. And also possibly improve prompt payment. So it'll identify the patterns and trends, looking at which invoices are getting or not getting paid on time. And there's machine learning models that come out of the box looking at both suppliers and customers. So not just you paying, but you being paid as well. So the risk of various invoices and suppliers of paying you on time or you paying them on time. And all of those machine learning models that you get are backed up by prediction scores as well. So it won't just run the model and present you with results. It'll actually give you an accuracy score for those results as well as that model self-trains. On the HR side, then, you've got benefits such as reducing employee turnover, so looking at why people are leaving and addressing those, giving insights into what might help reduce that employee turnover, not just telling you that people are leaving because they're overstretched. It might then give you an insight that they're overstretched because overtime is too high because there aren't enough people in this role. And it'll give you ideas of how you can address that. It can help reduce time to hire, again, by looking at the bottlenecks. It will look at patterns of absences, so you can have a look at who takes every Friday and Monday off, or around specific sports events and things like that. And then effectively managing the skills and performance, making sure that your people have the right skills to carry out the roles that they have, and that you've got the resilience that if they do leave or if they are off for any reason, you've got sufficient cover of those skills as well. And like I mentioned earlier on, you've now got the power of the AIDP workbench. So AIDP is the artificial intelligence data platform. So that is your user interface effectively for building your AI models. You've got pre-built models in there. You've got catalogs. You can connect to your Oracle sources, your non-Oracle sources. You're not having to replicate data. You can connect directly to the existing data models for those data stores. So you can see here, I've got an airlines data catalog. I've got my FDI data. I've got a separate autonomous data warehouse. So there's lots of different things in there. And then you've got a drag and drop interface. So if I wanted to drag a workflow in, I can drag that into my workbench, and it'll give me all of those steps that I need to build that model. Alternatively, you can see in this particular screen here, I can type my code as if I was in SQL Developer or in a Jupyter workbook, writing my Python or R scripts. So that's what the FAIDP is and how it works. Next, we're going to move on to where analytics sits within the Oracle Cloud landscape. So those of you who have seen me present before will have seen this slide multiple times. It's looking at everything from running the business, managing the business, all the way through to guiding the business. So looking at what has happened and what needs to be done today, more into sort of where bottlenecks are, how compliant organizations are, and how to execute strategy and coming up with different models for executing that strategy. Or then on the guide the business side, it's looking more at trends, looking at why things have happened, and looking at where you might want to be. And that's really where analytics sits. There is a caveat to that. So one of the upcoming developments within the FAIDP is that it will, from the next release, include the OTBI subject areas. So where we have transactional reporting here on the left-hand side, looking at running the business, you will have the same subject areas as you have in OTBI today available to you if you're an FAIDP customer within your analytics platform. That'll make the user journey far more seamless, and it will give you the data visualization capabilities of Oracle Analytics Cloud rather than just using the OBIEE version, which you have in OTBI today. That's only going to be the case if you are an FAIDP customer. If you don't have FAIDP, you'll still only have access to the subject areas through OTBI as it is today. So that brings us then on to the roadmap. So like I said, it is a rapidly evolving product. It is something that benefits, the same as the rest of the Fusion stack. It benefits from quarterly releases. So it is quite small. I'm not going to read through everything, but upcoming, you've got more around your supplier master. You've got AI agents coming in as well out of the box. You've got something called the People Leader Workbench, which we'll have a look at in more detail. So that's going to have more capabilities in there. Looking more at matrix management as well as the formal line manager chain. You've got things like supply chain command center coming in supply chain. You've got warehouse management coming in. And then looking further into the future as well, you've got things like advanced collections, risk management, more AI agents coming through, looking at case management as well, looking at maybe where people have skills that aren't being utilized, looking at supplier qualification, and lots more. And you've also then got the platform and infrastructure. So you've already got things like the AI assistant for consumers. So end users can just chat to the chat bot and ask questions of the data and get results back. You're going to have more of the AI capabilities as a developer. And you're also going to have things like data share. So being able to share the data directly from an external data model into or with the FAIDP model. So again, not having to replicate the data, not having to pay twice for storage. But if you have then got some data held elsewhere, you can just connect to that directly and model that within the FAIDP as well. So that will bring a lot of benefit to the platform. And looking at the roadmap, so I mentioned earlier on about the People Leader Workbench, and you've also got the Supply Chain Command Center in there, and for sort of commercial customers, mainly the dynamic revenue prediction. And these are what Oracle are calling intelligent applications. So as I mentioned earlier on, one of the benefits of the Fusion Artificial Intelligence Data Platform is that everything sits within your Oracle infrastructure. And that means that all within the same platform, you have your Fusion application. You can add in data from other sources as well and put them into a shared data model. You can apply your machine learning model. You've got your analytics in there. And you've also got workflows that can be kicked off via API directly from your analytics as well. And then that feeds via the intelligent application back into your Fusion application to really show to really sort of take forward that analytics. So it'll give you the insight. It will give you a suggestion on how to act on those insights. You can tailor that insight as to what you want it to be, and then click a button and feed that back into the application workflows as well. So with that, we'll have a look at a couple of videos just to show you how that would work going forward.
The People Leader Workbench enables people leaders, finance, and HR to collaboratively make talent decisions to meet evolving business needs. Zoe, a plant manager at a healthcare equipment manufacturing company, is preparing for a monthly business review. On the Fusion homepage, she launches the application by clicking on the People Leader Workbench tile. Zoe begins with a comprehensive overview of her organization's performance. Here she can see relevant trends and the latest insights. Peer benchmarks show that her productivity is comparatively higher than her peers, but she also notices her salary spend has increased by 7.6% in the last 3 quarters. So, Zoe clicks on the See Insights button. On the Insight Detail page, she can review the primary factors contributing to her salary spend. Salary for new hires has the highest impact. To take action, she selects Explore Solutions. The People Leader Workbench weighs the interconnectedness of factors to create a set of recommended plans. The first option aligns with how Zoe typically reduces her salary spend, by closing all open requisitions. But it also surprisingly notes that it may contribute to attrition as the workers won't be receiving extra help. Zoe sees a second option, however, that balances multiple factors that she had not considered. It recommends suspending fewer requisitions, delaying promotions for managers, and boosting salaries for plant workers at risk of leaving. She sees this plan saves money, but also positively affects pay equity and retention. Zoe wants to understand what roles are impacted. She's able to fine-tune the selected requisitions to minimize business disruptions. She selects Update and sees this still gets her acceptably close to her savings goal. She saves her plan. All of her in-progress and published plans are accessed from the Plans tab. Zoe can share the plan to collaborate with her HR business and finance partners. An AI-generated email gets the ball rolling. After a couple days of follow-up, she is now ready to take action. She selects the plan from the list and executes it. Requisitions will be immediately suspended, and promotion and focal budget adjustments will be initiated. She can go to Oracle Recruiting and see those same requisitions have been updated. That's the People Leader Workbench. We are building another.
So as you can see,
the People Leader Workbench enables people leaders.
So as you can see, that gives a lot of capability to the end users, really bringing together that insight and taking action. And the key word in that really for me is interconnectedness. So it's not just looking at your Oracle Cloud data or your payroll data, your attrition data, your staffing data in isolation. It's bringing all of that information together and modeling that, looking at all of those interconnected data points and really giving you more intelligent insight than you've had before.
The People Leader Workbench enables people leaders.
Moving on then to the... Let me see if I can...
The People Leader Workbench.
No, sorry, it's not playing the supply chain one. I won't go through the People Leader one again. But the supply chain one is very similar. It's looking at, your inventory. It's looking more at external data sources as well. So it brings in things like weather patterns, potential external delays with, for example, at the moment it might look at the Strait of Hormuz being blockaded and oil not being able to get through and the impact that might have. And it'll suggest, right, okay, well, we're not going to look at bringing in, or we can't bring in any supplies from the Middle East. So maybe we need to look at the US as a supply source instead, and it'll help find those suppliers and kick off those requisitions for you as well. So again, lots of power in that sort of supply chain and procurement type area. So moving on then from the platform itself to how Namos can help in taking you on the journey. And really, we're going to be with you if you decide to look at the FAIDP or a custom-built Oracle Analytics Cloud solution. We will be with you at every stage of the journey, from implementing, optimizing, and also the innovation and the more advanced capabilities as well. So if we look at the implementation side, we'll help you activate the instance, configure the data pipelines, make sure that the data is accurate using the inbuilt data validation capabilities, go through the starter reports and do some knowledge transfer as well. So we'll show you how to administer the system, how to build your own reports. We'll support you with the testing, and we'll also do the production deployment. That generally, for the out-of-the-box capability, will take about 4 weeks. Your non-production environment will be up and running within days. So you would be able to start seeing exactly what you're going to get, exactly the impact that it's going to have really, really quickly. Moving on then to the optimize, we'll look at building custom workbooks. We'll look at extending the out-of-the-box subject areas. We'll be able to help you look at some of the preview features that are available for customers. We can help you review your reporting and analytics strategy as well. So we can look at what you have today, what is available on the market, and how you might want to consider utilizing everything in the future. We can do more formal user training. And of course, we've got our managed services in there. And then finally, we've got the innovate. So bringing in third-party data sources, creating your enterprise-wide workbooks, and really looking at that AI data platform capability and creating those AI and machine learning models, applying them to your data, and looking at taking you to that next level of having a translytical system and solution. And all of that comes with the standard Namos promise, really. You'll get clear pricing, a defined scope, you've got your expert resources, and you've got the active community, as proven today. We've got 20 plus people on the call who are here today. We have got, I think we had 30 something last week in the reporting overview, and we have all of our other events throughout the year as well. So I have a little bit of time available before I was due to move into the question and answer. So I'll just dive very quickly into an environment. So this is your Oracle Analytics homepage. This is one of my demo environments. And I just wanted to show you a couple of examples here. So one of the benefits of the FAIDP and Oracle Analytics Cloud is that you can have a look at everything all in one place. So whereas with OTBI, you may have a workforce dashboard, an absence dashboard, a goals and performance dashboard, and then have multiple pages on each. From a procurement perspective, you'll have a P2P dashboard, but then you would have a page for every single process within that P2P cycle, so invoices, contracts, agreements, suppliers, purchase orders, and so on. You can have everything all in one place. So you can see here, I've got an executive overview workbook. I've got my general ledger information across the top, so I've got my actual versus budget. On the same page then, I've got all of my sub-ledger information. So I've got things like my time to purchase, my prompt payment percentages, looking at my supplier performance, looking at my cash flow position, so looking at my outstanding receivables and payables. I've also got my HR information in the same place. So I don't have to go to a separate HR dashboard. As an executive or as a manager who manages multiple processes, I can see all of that on this one screen. So I've got my headcount information, I've got my attrition information and my absence information. I've also brought in information from an external staff survey solution. So this could just be uploading an Excel spreadsheet, or it could be a more formal development of bringing the data into the data warehouse and presenting it alongside your HR information. So I can see how my employee satisfaction is changing on that one. And then at the bottom here, I've actually combined finance and HR data into one single report. So you can see here that on the cost of sickness, I've only got absence in 1 month. So I can see here that for every absence or every sickness absence in this particular month was costing me £439. So I can really start to see the impact of that financially or performance if I had the operational performance statistics in there. And then I can also start to look at completely external data sets as well. So I might want to look at local government, for example. And all of this is real data. So the local government was taken from the Local Government Association website. So you can see here I'm starting to bring in more formatting. I'm just going to change my year to one that is formatted correctly. So you can see I've got my headline figures going across the top. Because this has all come from the Local Government Association, it is a national data set. So I can start to compare, how my local authority is comparing to others. So if I'm looking at collisions, I can see, the north and northwest seems to be a lot higher in terms of collisions per mile of road than maybe the Midlands and the borders down here. So I can really start to get that comparison. I'd be able to do it within my authority. Again, I've got examples here on higher education, healthcare, and out in the commercial industries as well. And if you wanted to have a look at some other examples, there is a website that you can go to. So if I just go to this quickly, rebrand.ly/Fusion Analytics Content Explorer. So this is actually a public OAC environment from Oracle. It shows you, first of all, when you go to that URL, all of the content that's available within the FAIDP itself. So you can see it's spread across the 5 applications, 26 Fusion modules, and 112 subject areas. If you go to questions by persona, it'll actually show you the business questions that are answered by the out-of-the-box content. So it will help you actually flip around what your requirements might be. So rather than I just need a report that shows this, It's really thinking about what question you're trying to answer with that particular report. So it will help make the requirements a lot more intelligent. And then if I click on the back button here, it'll take me to a catalog of example content. Now, this isn't content that's been built with the data model from the Content Explorer, but it's just some ideas of how you might want to start visualizing data. So Oracle Analytics Cloud is a lot more about data storytelling than traditional dashboards, and you can build much more infographical style analysis. So if we have a look here at higher education, for example, there's one here that's been built by somebody else. Just give that a second to load. So you can see here it is a lot more formatted, a lot more tailored, and starting to really show how the how that data, or get proper insight from that data, really. So feel free to have a look at the Content Explorer, all of the different types of visualizations in there. There are some really good examples in there of how you might want to visualize data, really taking you to that next level. So that moves us on to the Q&A. Just a quick look. There don't seem to be any questions in the Q&A or in the chat. If anyone would like to ask a question, please feel free to add it in there or to unmute yourself, and we can answer those questions for you. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll hand back to Yayan for the call to action. But as I do that, I'm just going to launch a quick poll just to find out whether anyone would like to have a follow-up on the FAIDP, whether you think it would be the right solution for you. So I've just launched that poll now. You should have a pop-up. Just select the option that is valid for yourselves, and we'll be happy to follow up with you then after this session. So Yayan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. That was all very interesting. I just wanted to let people know about some of our future arrangements and what we're organising. So we're following this reporting and analytics series. This is unconfirmed, so this is just a save the date. But as you can see, the 10th of June, Wednesday the 10th of June in Birmingham. If you could just mark that as a potential for a future in-person event, and we'll be getting back to you shortly with more details about some of the arrangements for that.
Thanks,
so
Dan.
Dan, is that...
Yeah, so just to add to that, one of the sessions that we're going to have at the next event is an opportunity for you to get hands-on with Oracle Analytics Cloud as part of the FAIDP solution. So we'll actually give you access to an analytics environment where you can go in, you can start to have a look at some of the out-of-the-box content, and we'll show you how to build reports as well. And if there is sufficient interest, we can extend that to not just Data Visualizer, which is what you've seen today, but also OAC Classic, which is the OBIEE version of Oracle Analytics that I mentioned earlier on, which is what OTBI runs on. So you'll have some knowledge as well then of how to build OTBI reports in addition to the OAC reports.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Dan. I think that is everything. So we'd like to wish everyone a great day, and this concludes this webinar. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, everyone. Bye now.